Hello Heads, welcome back to another video. I'm just going to head out quickly for a ride, but when I get back, I'm going to show you what is in my suitcase and bike box as I prepare to head off to Portugal for a 1 week cycling trip across the country. And given that I like watching what's in my bag type videos, I like to see what people are taking away with them. I don't know why, how they manage to live out of a suitcase and take exactly what they need for a life on the road for a week. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this video. But first, my bike ride. See you in a sec. Oh, I need more space. I'm really sorry. This is not high production, I'm afraid. I'm going to sit on this foam roller. Ow. Right, let's quick fire this thing so that we're not sitting here for half an hour watching it. Interested to see what I'm packing for a 1 week cycling holiday, hopefully in the sun, in Portugal. It's 6-7 days of riding from north to south. Always looking at the weather, checking it every day so that I can amend what I'm taking, but most of what I'm taking is multifunctional, meaning it will cover me for various situations. So I'm going to start with like bags, and then I'm going to move to the bike box here because I'm going to have room. So let's quickly run through what I'm going to be taking on this trip. So I'm going to have my rucksack, which has 2 compartments. I will always travel with my cycling shoes in my hand luggage and my helmet. Now my helmet I can clip on the outside, or I can throw it in this bag, which I'm also taking as hand luggage as well, to go in the overhead locker above me. I'm not actually traveling with a suitcase. Why? Well, I mean, this is a 1 week trip. How much do I really need? That's all we're going to be doing is riding our bikes, and the only time we won't be riding our bikes will be relaxing in 5-star hotels, I hope. But the reason why I travel with my shoes and my helmet on me at all times is because if my suitcase, for example, wasn't to show up at the airport when I land, but my bike does, then I can still go for a bike ride. Saying that, I usually travel as well with a pair of shorts here and a jersey at a minimum in my hand luggage as well, because that also means I can go for a ride without borrowing anybody's kit. And that also means if my suitcase doesn't show up for a couple of days, again, I can still ride my bike. Things like helmets you can borrow, but things like shoes, it's kind of personal, isn't it? So aside from that, eye mask, sunglasses, hand sanitizer, electricals, generally speaking. I'm traveling with camera equipment and stuff, well, GoPros, earplugs, things that I've come to rely on over the years, riding professionally and traveling to Japan, Canada, Australia to race my bike. They will always be travel with me, even if it's just for a just in case scenario. So that is going to be my rucksack. Next, we have kit in this bag. And this has basically all of my kit for the week. All of that goes in there. All that goes in there. And my helmet will probably end up going in here as well when I've packed it properly. Now, when it comes to, as I say, packing for a 1 week cycling trip where you know the weather's going to be good, then you can pretty much get away with the bare minimum. Like, you're looking at 2 pairs of shorts. A really good tip would be to take black cycling socks and wear them as normal socks. But you can also use them if the weather gets really bad, right? If it rains, you don't want to be wearing white socks. When it rains, you can wear black socks. A couple of pairs of pants, or boxers, whatever you want to call them. 2 pairs of shorts to wear off the bike in case it is that hot. But I do have a pair of slacks, tracksuit bottoms, 1 spare t-shirt, base layer. I've got a choice of 2, a very thin one or a thicker merino type one, wool, which will keep you warmer. Again, worst case scenario, but the thing is with wet weather is you can very easily layer. So it rains, but it's still about 15 degrees in Portugal, so I could go with a merino base layer, a jersey, arm warmers, a gilet, and then a rain cape. But if I'm taking enough jerseys, I can double up jerseys. Pro tip, when we've ever been racing in wet conditions, we don't necessarily always wear like rain clothing, we just wear multiple short sleeve jerseys. It is a thing. It's also more aero because you're still wearing like a garment that is fairly aerodynamic. I also have another pair of shorts in here, so there we go, that's my 2 pairs of shorts. I have some white socks, I have some arm warmers, and I have a very thin pair of gloves, just in case. So that's that bag, along with some spare plastic bags and some wet wipes. Alright, great for cleaning everything. But the plastic bags are very useful for also everything. Say it does rain one day and you have wet kit, you can chuck it in there and it doesn't get everything else wet. If you've washed your kit but it hasn't had time to dry, rather than chucking wet kit in with all your dry stuff, put it in the plastic bag, and then while it's traveling to the next hotel, you can take it out and then hang it back up to try and finish off that drying process. You'd be surprised how little you can get away with when you're spending all of your time effectively on your bike, and spending very little time off the bike. So now let's move on to the bike box. So the bike box is obviously going to be taking my bike, but there's a couple of other things as well that will be going in here, which, to be honest, you should really use the space that you have, and you'd be foolish to like not use, you know, some of the space that it provides. So a couple of things that I've always taken in my bike box: my bottles. I'll put them in my bottle cages and then chuck the bike in so the bottles are already on. Something else I would do is always leave things on my bike that, generally speaking, I would never leave home without. So my biking boot, my saddlebag, put them on so that they're not loose and like I'm not gonna like struggle to find them. This is a bag of goodies. I have food in here, as in a couple of energy bars. I have a couple of protein bars. I have some sterile tablets for cleaning your bottles. That's a very useful thing to have. I also have some electrolyte fizzies from Sturka. I have some salt tablets, which, bearing in mind the temperature, are useful to have. My pump and everything goes in here as well. You can see where this is going. Like basically everything that I won't need until I open the bike up is going to be in here, plus my toiletry bag. So because I'm not taking a suitcase, my toiletry bag is literally that big. Alright, it's tiny, okay? So technically I don't need to take that much. So that's just going to go in there and take up very little space. I am a stickler for bags. More plastic bags. You just never know when you're gonna, like, they're so useful and reusable. You know, you could take a chain off if you're someone who travels with your chain off on your bike. You can just chuck it in there. Again, you're traveling back with dirty kit, if that happens, or dirty clothes or whatever. You can chuck them in plastic bags, chuck them in with the bike, and say oil from the bike doesn't get to the clothes, but also the wet clothes doesn't touch the bike, blah 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 blah. You get the idea. So GoPro chest mount. There is another thing, of course. It's handy to take things that you might need when it comes to your bike. Things like a spare tire. This is a Continental GP5000, which is partly worn, but it's like a get out of jail. Another plastic bag for a chain. Electrical tape. You can do a lot with this, like helping to pad your bike out. You can put electrical tape around some of this stuff and keeps all of it secure. We've got some Allen keys, as well as the Allen keys I have in my saddlebag. Some scissors, some plastic rubber gloves, and a chain tool. Now, because I'm on electronic ears, that is something else to remember. Oh my word, like imagine like your battery runs low and you forget to bring that, because probably not many people are going to have something like that with them, and you could save someone's life. I'm going to be taking that with me as well as a little drop of chain lube. But in theory that should be all you need. And thankfully, the event we're going to, you know, they're going to have mechanical assistance and they're going to be able to help with a lot of things. So it really doesn't, sometimes you need to think, you know, what can I travel with that maybe makes my life easier? Not just clothing wise, kit wise, or, you know, sleeping wise, like day-to-day living, but what services are there on the other side? Like, how close is a bike shop? How close is a pharmacy? Like, some of the stuff I've got in here, I've got like a mini medical kit. I've got, you know, miniature things. You get the idea. Like, research what you're going to have at the other end, what sort of help you're going to have. Or if you're flying with people, share the load. Like, not everybody needs to take a track pump. Like, if someone's bringing one, then you don't need to take one, for example. So hopefully that's, I don't know. I'm quite chuffed I managed to run through all that without any problems. I think I've probably missed out a couple of things, which is a bit of a pain, really. It always happens when you're trying to film a video where you think you've got everything ready, but you actually haven't. But if there's anything that you would add, or that you like love traveling with and you swear by, like, you know, good pair of headphones, which is what I'll be packing. Actually, you just reminded me. Thank you. Then let me know in the comment section down below. But that's it for this video. We're going to get packing and get out to Portugal in a couple of days. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you look forward to those videos. I will see you